Hello folks, I'm Jerry Reed coming to you from Southern National Speedway in Kenly, North Carolina. This track, only 5 years old, non-sanctioned, has already drawn national attention due to the fact that it's a very competitive track. It's also 4/10 mile long, it's high banked. It's called the track for action you can bank on. Tonight we're going to show you 6 divisions of racing that go on down here in Kenly weekly. We're going to show you late model stock car run by NASCAR rules. We're going to show you late models, which are faster cars than late model stock car. They're offset chassis, and you're going to see tonight some battles going on between the Pink Panther of David Humphrey and Jamie Mozingo in the flying number 22. Then we've got the Hooters Pro Super Truck Series down here also. We've got 8 of them here tonight, including 2 brand new ones who are making their debut. Also, we have Super Stock, Stock 4, and 4-cylinder. That's 6 divisions every week. And as an added bonus, we've got Todd Seeley doing his wild and crazy motorcycle jumps right along the front stretch. We're going to show you some of that. This guy is the world record holder for motorcycle jumping 245 feet from ramp to ramp. But the one thing to remember about Southern National Speedway is that it is the track for action you can bank on. When these people get into each other down here, as you'll see when Yvonne shows you a little bit later on, some of the front stretch and back stretch, you'll see a lot of skid marks. Well, let me tell you folks, the cars go fast here. The late model stock cars average 94 miles an hour. When the Hooters Cup cars come here, people like Freddie Query and Dick Anderson turn 99.7 mile per hour average laps. We've had winged outlaw sprint cars here that have averaged 115 miles per hour. This is a very fast track. It's very tricky, and as you're going to see tonight, people don't want it to happen, but action is going to happen at Southern National Speedway. We're going to go to talk to some of the drivers in these divisions that make the difference here. Drivers with experience, some rookies, and also the truck drivers. This is the first year they've ever run at this track. As a matter of fact, it's the first time in the Southeast we believe that anybody had put together a series, a division that ran weekly, and we've run every week since April with these trucks. So we're going to show you some cars from eastern North Carolina. We're going to show you the drivers. You're not going to be familiar with all the names, but there's one here, Chuck Hendrick, Roy Hendrick's son. He runs down here, Boo Grinnan out of Richmond. We've got some people who come 3 hours south to run at this track because they know they can get some action here. Let's go on and take a look at some of these cars and talk to some of these drivers.
Hi, I'm Wayne Patterson, owner of Patterson Equipment and Repair in Meade, Virginia. We can customize any of your equipment needs to meet your budget and exceed your expectations. Patterson Equipment Repair is your local authorized long tractor dealer and Heston Claus hay equipment dealer of Virginia. We have parts and service for any make tractor and hay equipment. We sell spreaders, bush hogs, balers, tedders, grater boxes, scraper blades, cultivators, and old 8-in tractors. If your lot is beginning to look like this field, come by Patterson Equipment Repair to make your life a little easier. We're just a few short money-saving miles from anywhere.
If you want your team, organization, or business to get noticed, then let the lightning strike. Lightning Graphics, Richmond's leading custom screen printers. Our artists have designed and produced custom screen prints for businesses and teams across the country. T-shirts for people that want to stand out in the crowd. And all of our work is done in-house to ensure fast, quality, and personal service. Get on track with Lightning Graphics' complete line of custom and printed sportswear and stand out in the crowd.
Hey, y'all, call me, 232-6216.
Billy Ray Lucas battling for the points championship at Southern National Speedway in late model stock. Billy Ray, you tried this twice, 2 years in a row, the last 2 years. This year you're real close. You got the points lead, but it's a tough struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've led for the last 13 weeks, and I hope we lead for the last 3, but you know, there's a lot of obstacles in the way. We're going to do the best we can, and I'm not going to let anything deter me from it. You know, I'm just going to do what I do best, is go out there and run hard. That's it.
All right, there's Billy Ray Lucas battling for the points championship in late model stock cars at Southern National Speedway in the Flying Zero, the famous Flying Zero. Glenn Sears of Apex, North Carolina is a veteran racer. He's raced in ARCA. He's won races in ARCA. He's from Apex, North Carolina, and he is in a tooth and nail battle with Billy Ray Lucas for the points championship in late model stock cars. Glenn, what do you think your chances are in the Paul Berry Chevrolet Southern Piping Company Monte Carlo?
Oh, man, we're on a roll right now. We haven't finished out of the top 5 in the last few races. We haven't qualified off the front row in the last few races, and things are just looking good for us. We chopped the lead down to within 5 points, and we only have like 4 or 5 races left, so it's really looking good in our favor.
All right, there's John Lee's trying to play a spoiler role right now because evidently he's found a hookup in the number 53 Lee Motor Company Ford Thunderbird. Is that in the back of your mind too, that you're going to have to fight through him to keep that distance between you and Billy Ray?
Yeah, it probably is. You know, sometimes you don't really plan on certain cars being up there, but the last few weeks, John has ran exceptionally well. He's run a good line. He's got a good race car under him, and yeah, he's definitely a factor. Not so much as what the points go, but he could have a big effect on the outcome of these points.
All right, there's Glenn Sears fighting with Billy Ray Lucas for the late model stock car championship at Southern National Speedway. John Lee, Glenn Sears talks about the fact that he's embroiled in a points battle. You're not, but you've come on strong and won 2 races in a row in the number 53 Ford Thunderbird. They feel like you can play a spoiler role in this thing while they're busy trying to get the points title.
Jerry, I don't know how that's going to happen. I'm going to certainly stay. I'm going to either be in front of them or I'm going to stay out of their way. You know, I know it's important to them, and it should be. They both run great all year. We're just coming out here doing a job, trying to run good. We seem to have found a real good combination last month or so. Obviously, I'm pleased as I can be at the way we're running, and we're going to run good tonight. I'm sure we had a good practice session, and car's doing great.
All right,
beautiful night. Everything's just perfect, and you know, it's just a great night to race.
John Lee obviously loves Southern National Speedway just as much as I do, and he is definitely going to go to the front, but he won't get in the way of the points battle.
Thanks, Jerry.
Good. Southern National Speedway is a home of late models, not just late model stock cars. What you're seeing right now is one of the finest collections of offset chassis, very quick cars touring the high banks of Southern National Speedway. Jamie Mozingo from Pikeville, you're involved in a points battle with David Humphrey, the Pink Panther out of Raleigh. You told me earlier this is a very expensive sport to be involved in, and these late model cars are probably a little more expensive to maintain than the late model stock cars. But that doesn't mean you're going to give up on this points battle for sure, does it?
Well, no, I'm not really going to give up on it, but I try to put more of my emphasis in finishing the races and trying to take care of the man's investment here and not tear it up every week. And we just try to take it easy and finish as close to the front as we can, and wherever the points falls, where they fall. But we wouldn't mind winning another one.
How old are you now?
21.
You're 21 years old, and you already won 2 track championships at this track, didn't you?
Won one at this track and one at Wayne County.
All right. Got 2 championships under your belt, so you know what the pressure feels like, and the Pink Panther doesn't bother you any. You're just gonna go ahead and try to finish and see what happens.
Yeah, he don't bother me any. It's anybody's ball game.
David Humphrey coming at us right now. He's just weighed his car out at the scales. He is the man to beat in late model racing. He's called the Pink Panther. He's got 4 daughters. He painted the car pink. Well, as you said, Dale Earnhardt's first car was pink also. This guy is one of the most competitive people you will ever meet in a race car.
I don't know if we're going to say we have the title, but we have the car running good again. Jamie, he runs a good show. Everybody out here has a chance to win just as good as I do, but we're going to do our best.
Well, as far as competitive driving is concerned, you're one of the most competitive drivers on this track, and you got a bunch of fans in the stands that love to see this Pink Panther roll. Does that pump you up for a race?
Of course. Every time anybody gets excited, they're screaming, booing, whatever it takes. It gets my heart beat.
All right, David Humphrey is ready to go for the title in late model, American General Finance style at Southern National Speedway. Tom Ushery, a veteran if there ever was one. He also does double duty. He's leading the points in the truck series. He's getting ready to qualify his late model stock car. Tom, the truck battle wars have been something fierce this year between you and Danny McDonald, but it looks like either one of you's got a chance to win on any given night. You think you're going to hold on for the title?
I sure hope so. I don't know. He's running pretty strong.
But you're running strong too, and plus both of you are driving a car and a truck on a given night. Does that give you an opportunity to get a better setup on both of them?
Well, I don't know. It lets you know what the track is for the next race, that's for sure.
It gives you an edge if you don't get behind. But if you wreck one vehicle and have to work on it all week and try to get it ready, it gets you behind like we are today. We're very behind. But if you keep both cars going, it does give you an advantage because you try different setups on each vehicle.
Greg Stewart of Four Oaks, North Carolina, you got a shadow following you. His name is Donald Brace of Cary, North Carolina. You guys are locked in a struggle for the points championship, and the practice night, you guys actually were doing a little racing out there to see what each other had. You think you can hold him off over the next 3 races?
We'll sure try. He's either in front of me a spot or behind me a spot, but here at Southern National Speedway, it's my 3rd year racing here. That's my 3rd year racing at all, and I'd sure love to have the championship, but I've got to shake him first. Anything could go wrong.
And you've had to use somebody else's car one time before when you blew an engine just to get last place points. So this is not an easy haul down here, is it, when you're looking for a points championship?
No, it isn't. Just like today, we're having some drive shaft problems, and we're going to try to find someone to help us out with getting some parts so we can try to make the race and do the best we can.
Not only is Greg Stewart trying to win the championship, he's trying to make the race right now, so that even adds up to more drama. Donald Brace of Cary, North Carolina, is getting ready for his qualifying run. Hey, Donald, you're known as the Shadow. As a matter of fact, a man over there driving the number 69 car, Greg Stewart, says that you're his shadow. Have you got a chance to win this points championship if you keep running close to him?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a chance, but he's on out in the points, and he's going to have some bad luck for us to catch him. We usually run tit for tat, and there's only 1 points difference in there, and I got to make up 12, so it's going to be a long shot, but we're going to try our best.
But we saw with the number 29 car, you definitely got the car hooked up. When you guys were out here practicing the other night, you weren't playing with each other either, were you?
Oh, no. Me and Greg both had new tires on, so we figured we'd just get out there and run door to door and see what was going to happen. And that's usually who we're running against each other, so I figured that's what we'd do.
All right, the last time you guys raced, you were smoking off the right rear, doing all you could to catch him, and you couldn't quite do it. And with only a 1-point drop on the points, it's really hard, unless he has a problem, to do something with that lead.
Right. I figure he's got to fall out of 1 race, and we're going to have to stay steady, and nothing's going to happen to our car. We've just been trying to do preventive maintenance to it to keep it going. Hopefully we'll be all right.
All right, Donald Brace of Cary, North Carolina, chasing Greg Stewart for the points title. Mike Stoddard of Raleigh, this has been one of those years, but you're still hanging on to 2nd place in the points. Gary Poitras out of Wilson definitely thinks he's got this thing locked up as he keeps running out front. I know you've had mechanical difficulties, every difficulty you can name. Do you think you've got a shot at him if he has some of those same difficulties in the next 3 races?
I don't know. It's possible. We haven't lost as many points as I need to gain on him, so I doubt it. I think he's got it pretty wrapped up, and we're not going to give up. We're going to keep trying, and he's done a real good job this season. He's kept the car going, and that's what you need to do, and I'm just glad we're still 2nd.
But you're the guy who has really had to struggle to stay in that position in the points, because there's any given week there's 17 to 22 of these cars out here running, so you got lots of people breathing down your neck, so you ain't done bad either.
No, we've worked real hard. We've had some motor problems, but we've worked through them, and I'm just, I'm ecstatic where we're at. I wish we could be first, but we're not going to give up, but it looks pretty hopeless right now.
All right, Mike Stoddard not going to give up, but Gary Poitras looks like he's the man to beat. Gary Poitras of Wilson, North Carolina, looks like you're way out front. Well, not way out front. Mike Stoddard's still got, I guess, a mathematical chance. He says if he ties you up and ties your feet and your hands, he may be able to win the championship.
Well, I just think him wins anybody. Of course, I want to win. We come out here, and we try to decide the next few races, do we want to just play conservative or go for the win, and we're going to go for the win. I mean, if you win, the points are going to come. If you go out there and drive conservative, you're going to be better in the wrecks, and we don't want to be there.
Well, Mike's had a lot of mechanical problems this year, but he has really fought and scratched and clawed his way to hang on to 2nd place. But like he said, you're running strong now, and you seem to be on a roll, so he doesn't think he can catch you, but he said, I ain't quitting.
Well, he's not a quitter. He's a good driver, too, and he's right there. Ken's a good driver, too. I think Ken will come on in, and he'll give Mike a good run for the rest of 3 races that's left. I think as long as we show up, we probably got it this time.
All right, Gary Poitras, confident going into this race, only 3 left. Skinner, it looks like if nothing happens, the sky doesn't fall, the creek don't rise, it looks like you've got the Papa Jack's Pure Stock title pretty much wrapped up. You said an interesting thing just a minute ago. You didn't want to come to practice Thursday. You afraid something was going to fall off?
Yeah, I was thinking about coming and trying it out, Thursday since we've been off a week or so. I sat back and thought about it, and I said, I'm going to leave this thing parked at home in the shop.
So you've got it, the guys who are chasing you have been chasing you all year, but you've been consistent when you're here. You haven't won as many races as some of the other guys have, but consistency has paid off for you in the long run.
Yeah, that's it. We've run every race, hadn't missed a race, and run pretty competitive every race. You know, if nothing happens, I think we're in pretty good shape.
All right, there's Wayne Skinner. He's sitting in the catbird seat in the Papa Jack's Pure Stock division. Richmond is only 2.5 hours north of Kenly, North Carolina, where Southern National Speedway is, and a lot of people out of Mechanicsville, Richmond, and Ashland come down here to run. The reason why they do this, they get experience on a high-banked, high-speed track, unlike any other track there is in the Virginia area. We're going to talk with these guys about some of their reasons why they come to Southern National Speedway and try the high banks. Boo Grinnan, there's been a lot of double zeros that have run in Wilson County, evidently, as we saw from that sheet on the wall in the hauler that your dad run the double zero in qualifying seventh way back when at Wilson County Fairgrounds. You're here at Southern National Speedway in Kenly. Evidently, you don't like the dirt, you like the asphalt.
Yeah, well, this is a real nice place down here, and we like coming here. You know, the track's real nice. And we don't have nothing against Southside or run around in Richmond or nothing, but we're trying to keep our equipment in one piece.
But the Richmond connection, what can you learn down here that you can't learn up there?
Well, you stay out of trouble and you finish races down here. You get a little more experience, bigger track. You know, it's a little bit wider than Southside. But, you know, I'm not putting Southside down or nothing. It's just, you know, what people like.
Yeah, but Al didn't care how wide a track was.
Well, he'd run anywhere and anything.
Well, you just got a view of Papa Roy Hendrick, who's a legend at Southside Speedway, and also won the first late model stock car race that was ever held in Kenly at Southern National Speedway. But son Chuck is down here. We got to ask you, with Southside being such a strong track in the family tradition, why do you come down here? Does this give you a different look?
I love this track. It's got a little size to it. I love the banking, and it's a lot faster. Southside, I've had my problems there practicing, and I just don't like the track very much.
Oh, you think if you move on up to Busch Grand National and other venues that this track will give you a better opportunity to, it'll teach you more about what you need to do if you go to bigger tracks?
Yeah, this is a lot better track. I mean, you don't have to use any brake hardly in the corner. So you run a lot faster. The banking holds you down, and it's a better feeling track.
All right, to my left is Buck Godsey, to my right is Doug Godsey, a father and son team. We'll talk to Buck about why he comes to Southern National to race. Buck, why do you come down to Kenly instead of staying in Richmond to race?
Because it's a nice racetrack. It's the best late model racetrack around. I think it is.
Well, I'll tell you, we really like the high banks here at Southern National, and the people really treat us good down here. All the people, Charlie and Mike and everybody that run the track are just super nice. You won't find a better group of guys.
All right, and the competition is tough down here. A lot of people think it's not because it's not a Winston Racing Series track, but it is tough.
Well, I'll tell you, I ran Langley Speedway about half the year this year with Mike Buffkin, Greg Edwards, Danny Edwards, some of the toughest competition in the state of Virginia. And we came down here, and I believe, in my opinion, that this track has just as tough or tougher competition and equal cars being as equal to each other as any track around.
Right, and there's also two groups here. There's a lot more room to race. There's a lot more room for me to learn with a higher horsepower car and on a bigger track like this. I mean, it's helped me a lot already, and you don't feel like you're going that much faster. I'm surprised how fast I'm going.
All right. Different from the Charger division at Southside Speedway, though, a lot different to get in one of these trucks. It's been a big, steep learning curve.
It has been a big learning curve, and luckily we got the truck from Townsend, and it was set up so close to what it needed to be just to start off. We could concentrate on my driving.
In the Papa Jack's Pure Stock class, Glenn Smith would move to the lead past pole sitter and points leader Wayne Skinner on lap 4. Samp Jarman would then work the fading Skinner on lap 7 while everyone else dropped back. Jarman was loose as he tried Skinner low but couldn't make the pass. Major action on the back stretch as everybody bottled up and Smith and Jarman almost spun. Lenny Spence closed up tight in third place, but it was all Smith at the end. Tim Anderson, points leader and early leader in the race, lost it from the lead down the backstretch and spun to the rear on lap 2. Will Smith led from the restart, but Donna Upchurch and Harry Creech tangled, bringing out another yellow with only 2 laps on the board. On the next restart, everyone behaved, but at the back some bumping took place. Smith spun from the lead in turn 2 as others spun to avoid. Evidently the lead was not the spot to have, but Gary Poitras, points leader, now had it on lap 4. The battle from second back heated up as Ricky Mitchell and Ed Little tried to chase down Gary Poitras. Another spin in turn 3 tightened the pack as Will Smith and Jack Newsom worked on each other. But 23, car of Will Smith made the pass. Gary Anderson was now on the move to the front, but a spin brought yellow just as Ricky Mitchell took the lead and Poitras jumped back on the restart. But with 10 laps to go, Mitchell stretched the lead as Anderson spun off turn 4 again to go to the rear on lap 16. Mitchell, Poitras, and Ed Little Jr. wrapped up the top 3. The Hooters Pro Super Truck feature saw Wayne Bullock lead from the pole with Danny McDonald chasing hard and John Batten leading Tom Ushery as the front 4 put on a show. McDonald got loose, Batten and Ushery spun as everyone checked up in what was almost a major accident. On the restart, Bullock and McDonald were up front with Bob Carter, Sonny Hobbs, and John Batten fighting for third. On lap 15, a quick spin tightened the pack as Hobbs slipped high and dropped to the back. Batten was on the move and took over third on lap 20 while Bullock strolled to the win with Batten passing McDonald for second place at the finish. Kids racing at Southern National Speedway features pedal cars every Saturday night, and everybody is a winner as these kids go at it in 9 pedal cars from the 4th turn to the start-finish line. You ought to see the happy faces on all the kids and all the parents standing at the fence, plus the ones out there pushing some of their kids illegally. We're thinking about using a black flag. Todd Seeley of Tampa, Florida put on a thrilling motorcycle and four-wheeler show as he jumped ramp to ramp at least 200 feet. Seeley is the world record holder in jumping from ramp to ramp 245 feet, and he did it on a 250cc motorcycle. Todd Seeley's show tours around the country, and Southern National Speedway was fortunate to have him tonight for the crowd. James Finch Chevrolet Superstock race saw Greg Stewart on the pole with Donald Brace outside where they've been all year. Scott Wise spun off at turn 4 early, causing a complete restart after Stacy Wood retired to the pits trailing smoke and Willie Waters darted to the pits for the night. His race was over. The field was reset and green flew with Stewart and Brace side by side lap after lap. On lap 10, Stewart finally took the lead with Brace 1 to 2 lengths behind and then closed up on lap 13. Stewart could not shake Brace, just like all of 1996. But once again, the lead was jinxed as Stewart lost an axle and hit the backstretch wall, leaving the race and losing some points in his battle with Brace for the track title. Brace, Stacy Pate, and Mike Orsa jumped out on the restart, but 2 laps later, Scott Wise and Dale Curran crashed hard off of turn 4 and tangled all the way down the front stretch to the flag stand on lap 20. Both drivers were attended to by rescue personnel. Both drivers were okay. On the restart, Mike Orsa made a move inside and touched Stacy Pate to take second on lap 25 and closed rapidly on Donald Brace and took the lead on lap 26. Brace faded quickly as Orsa built a big lead. Brace lost second on lap 30 and third on lap 31 and finally lost it all as Orsa, Pate, and Dwayne Taylor finished 1, 2, 3. The Carolina Racing Products late model stock car feature saw Jamie Caudle, Tony Grady, and Glenn Sears take the early lead as Caudle and Grady went at it door to door. Caudle broke free on lap 4 and led a train of Grady Sears, John Lee, and Doug Godsey as yellow came out when John Sinoski and Marty Ellis touched, with Sinoski retiring after hitting the wall in turn 2. Green flew on lap 11 and Caudle led again as Marty Ellis gets loose in turn 3 and spun with Mike Conover bringing out yet another yellow. Back to racing on lap 27 and a quick spin by Jake Yelverton brought out yellow again. Then we get back to action on lap 30 with Caudle still out front as Grady, Sears, and John Lee fought it out for third. Caudle opened up a huge lead by lap 41 while Doug Godsey of Richmond closed in 4th and Tom Ushery and John Flores trailed in 5th and 6th. Boo Grinnan, another Richmond driver, smoked to a halt on lap 52 while Caudle continued to dominate. Points leader Billy Ray Lucas was trailing this lead pack in 8th, unable to gain any positions. Meanwhile, Doug Godsey once again was closing up in 5th in traffic until a brief caution on lap 64. Green came out again on lap 68 and Caudle again jumped out front, but caution flew again for another spin in a caution-filled night. Racing resumed on lap 75 and Doug Godsey once again moved past Glenn Sears into 4th place and began chasing John Lee for 3rd. Godsey continued to gain on Lee as Cardle stretched his margin over Grady on lap 84. By lap 87, Godsey was knocking on the door, and Lee spun in turn 2 to bring out a yellow flag again on lap 90. Cautions no longer counted from this point on with 10 to go, and lap cars had to go to the rear as Cardle continued to lead, while Doug Godsey held third behind Tony Grady. The red flag came out as John Flores lost control and rode the 3 and 4 wall hard and was knocked unconscious briefly and taken to a local hospital. On the restart, it was familiar on lap 90 as Cardle was again in control. Glenn Sears hung on for 4th while Billy Ray Lucas was 6th as Doug Godsey made one last stab at 2nd but couldn't do it, finishing a close 3rd behind Tony Grady. To close out tonight's racing from Southern National Speedway in Kenly, North Carolina, the track for action you can bank on. We saw plenty of that tonight. In the background over my shoulder, you hear the late model race going on. It looks like Jamie Mozingo and David Humphrey, both of the points leaders, have had problems. We don't know where they're going to finish, but they'll still be in the battle at the end. We're ever expanding our horizons with Southside Speedway Illustrated. Going back to Southside Speedway next week, then on to South Boston. You saw the show from RIR. You've seen the action from Kenly. Look for more of that in the future. For Yvonne, I miss Freddie, and myself, Jerry Reed, thank you and good racing.